Hey, that's pretty good. Look at these levels. This is good. I got it. I got a new application of Audacity. Look at this. It's so high. I got to turn it down. Sorry, guys. It's very loud. All right, let's try that. I think that's a little better. Oh boy, it's picking this mic up real hot.
Hot mic.
We are outside right now, but I would play piano, but I'm not going to. Beep-doop, boop, boop, boop. There we go.
There's a fire.
Hi, guys.
I'm Mike Logan.
I'm Gerrit Elzinga.
And welcome to This Better Be Good. It's the podcast where we talk about a movie before seeing it, and then we see it, and then we talk about it afterward. You guys love us. Come on. Come on.
Come on, babies.
Come on, baby, over here, huh? We like to make these podcasts.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to put my sunglasses on because it's very bright.
Yeah, we were outside of the AMC Theaters, Alpine. AMC, I believe it's called AMC Grand Rapids 8.
Yes. Used to be called Star Theater.
Yeah, and they were a piece of shit chain.
Yeah, they were. Man, it was so you just sit in the shitty seats.
It was a very rundown
and then you'd
theater.
be like, why are we here? And then you'd be like, oh, because you're paying $12 a ticket. And you're like, it's still worth it to be here. But it's fun.
Good to be here.
Jews.
Kirk Jorgensen.
It's good to be here.
No, today we're seeing one of my favorite movies of 2015.
Sicario.
Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
Sicario.
This is a sequel to the Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, Emily Blunt film that came out in 2015.
Now, what did you think about Emily Blunt's character in the first one?
I think that Emily Blunt's character in the first one was very important to the first movie. I think that she was the moral compass in the film that grounded the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie is going to lack a lot with her not being in it.
Man, I don't know. I think it's interesting because I hated her character in the first one because she was very. I'm so, I don't know. I don't know how to describe.
She had principles that she stuck to.
She had principles, and she did stick to them because of the end. But I don't know, if maybe you guys haven't seen Sicario, but it's all about the drug trafficking dealings with Mexico and America, like on the border.
Mm-hmm.
And her character, she has like the moral backbone of we can't do this, we can do that, we can't do this, blah blah blah. And Josh Brolin is just basically saying like, no, we have to do this because it's very scuzzy. It's very scuzzy. Drug deals. Scuzzy. I love that word. Scuzzy and smarmy. Those are two things. But and then Benicio del Toro's character, the Sicario, he is like a hired hitman to
He's essentially a mercenary for the government.
Yes. But he basically has no rules, quote unquote. And then in this one, the whole thing is like Josh Brolin's just completely setting him loose. So I'm very excited to see where this movie goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's my problem. Here's a problem I'm going to have going into this movie. This is like you know how much you love Jurassic Park, but then you went in Jurassic World, you're like, this movie might be shit.
Yep.
This is kind of what I'm feeling like for Sicario. I'm not saying the movie's going to be shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be as good as the first one, because...
It's also written by the same guy that wrote the first one, though.
But it's not directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Which is...
Villeneuve.
No.
I don't know.
It's Villeneuve.
I like to throw a lot of extra syllables and consonants in there.
And some Spanish numbers.
Yes.
My problem with it is, I think the first movie was definitely a thinking man's action film.
Yeah.
It had some set pieces, but it was definitely very cerebral.
And I was totally cool with there not being action and everything. I just hated every time she was like, I am getting stressed, I need a cigarette, and then she'd have one hit and throw it down. And then the other person's like, what the fuck? I just gave you a cigarette?
Well, I just think that this movie is going to be a lot more action. I think there's not going to be as much nuance to it as there was in the first one. Because the first one was very much like, this is a bit of an artsy film.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, the whole border crossing scene is one of the best things I've seen in cinema.
Oh, it's really fantastic. Good. Like all the action, it's all tension.
Yeah.
And it culminates in literally 7 seconds of like just boom, 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 and then it's done.
But it's an entire
so
scene of build-up. It's
well
so
done.
If you haven't seen Sicario, just Google the border scene from Sicario. You'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, you'll understand the scene, but not the movie.
No context.
You won't have any context. But I'm
just afraid that this one is going to be like, I love Josh Brolin. I love Benicio del Toro. This is the year of Brolin anyway.
Yeah. 3 movies this year, all number one.
Yeah, he's batting 100.
Although
right
this
now.
wasn't number one, was it?
This will not be number one.
No.
This came in number 5, I think.
Okay.
No, 4. It was
Wow.
Jurassic World, Incredibles 2.
Deadpool 2 still up there?
No.
What if Avengers is still crushing
I think Avengers is up there.
Wow. Number 7. Number Nueve.
Oh.
Call back.
Anyway.
Come on, I'm great.
I don't know. I'm very hesitant going into this one.
Yeah.
Very hesitant.
I guess I'm hesitant for different reasons. I think I don't know, that first one, I gotta watch it again. I have it, but I haven't watched it since I saw it in the theater. And God, maybe it's. I don't think I like Emily Blunt. I know. I feel bad
Really?
saying that.
I
Yeah.
love Emily Blunt.
I liked her in A Quiet Place because she didn't talk.
Jesus
no, I'm kidding.
Christ.
Totally kidding.
Edge of Tomorrow?
Loved her in Edge of Tomorrow because that's like. Did people said she's like a badass female character in Sicario, right?
For different reasons than Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, obviously, yeah.
In Edge of Tomorrow, she's like a physical, imposing badass.
For sure.
In
But in
Sicario,
this one,
she's like a calm. I think the idea that she sticks to her principles is very divisive for people for that movie.
Interesting.
Because a lot of people find it to be very empowering, like as a human, not as a woman or as a man, as a human, to stick to your principles under those immense circumstances. And a lot of people see her as weak for sticking to her principles.
So, okay, spoilers. Let's skip to. I'll give it to. God damn it!
What are you spoiling? Sicario?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, that's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, no,
if they're listening, well, I don't know.
Most people didn't see Sicario anyway.
I'll try and figure it out. Okay, so what are they doing in the first one? I can't really remember.
So
why is there such a rift between her and Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro?
So she deals in human trafficking. Like she's part of an agency that specifically deals in human trafficking on the Texas-Mexico border. She gets called up to. The idea is her expertise in human trafficking is supposed to be a big selling point to her being in this crew that's going into Juarez. Yeah, but they're not. She's told that
human trafficking.
No, she's told that they're going in to the border. Like they're not going into Mexico. Yeah, and then she ends up going to Mexico because that's like their ulterior motive is they're actually going to Juarez. Yes. It's off the books. It's illegal. They're not supposed to be doing that. Okay, they're going in to capture an individual who has a lot of knowledge. Yes. The reasoning behind her going with them was, I haven't seen the movie in a couple of years, but somewhere along the lines of she is very good at she's been tracking this drug cartel who also deals in human trafficking, so she knows them like the back of her hand. Okay. So the idea is if she comes with them, she's able to give them insight into, the mind of these traffickers, these drug dealers, where they are, because she has the most information of anybody.
But do they even use her for that?
No, she kind of just, the excuse for her going there is that. And they tell her that the guys, it's we're going to catch these drug traffickers. But in reality, they're only going to kidnap somebody.
So they only need her to say, everything's okay and it's fine, when she reports back to people? I think the idea was... Because that's what the end of the movie is, right?
I think the idea of Josh Brolin's character is he wanted her to be on his team. And so he brought her along this mission as kind of a tryout. But obviously, she doesn't fit into the mold. She doesn't believe in the tactics that they use to get things done. So they end up, not having her on the team. So I think the idea is they get her to go with them under the guise of, okay, you have all this knowledge. You're going to help us catch these people. But in reality, he wants to recruit her to be on his team because she's such a good agent.
Interesting.
But she ends up, being all morally righteous and not liking
the thing is, I feel like...
Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro are very underhanded in their techniques. They're doing the work of the government, but under very shady ways of getting there.
Yeah, but don't you have to? I think. See, that's why I didn't really like. I saw her as whiny, versus I'm like, well, you have to do these things.
Well, see, I think the idea is I'd say I'm a bit of a morally flexible person. I think most people are. It's very rare to find somebody who just sticks to their principles, which is why it's uncomfortable to watch somebody do that.
But the thing is, at the end of it, she didn't really stick to her principles because she signed the thing and said everything.
Well, they threatened to kill her.
Well, then does she really stand for her principles, or does she not? Would she be a martyr?
Here's the thing.
Oh, doesn't he say that even if I do kill you, I'll still have someone sign it or whatever?
Yeah, there's no point. It's preservation of life at that point. Yeah. It's you don't want to die. You've got principles, you've got morals, but when there's a gun pointed at your face.
And that's why I think, maybe I don't think that this movie is going to be good, because I feel like if that was the end of the first one, then there should be a through line of her trying to still shut these guys down.
So I actually read an interview with the new director who said that the reason he didn't cast her in this movie, because it was a choice, he didn't want her in the movie. The idea was because she was too much of a moral compass, and by the end of the first movie, where does her character go from there? So
I could write that.
The director admitted that he did not know how to write it.
The director of this new one is not the writer.
Well,
Tyler, what's his name again? I'm sorry.
I don't remember.
He did the first Sicario. He did Hell or High Water. Tyler Hilton?
I don't think it's the same director. I think it's the same writer.
I think it is. Oh, maybe it's characters. It might be characters.
Because the article that I read, the director was straight up just I didn't know what to do with her character, so I left her out.
Well, what a fucking idiot. Hire someone else.
This is why I'm super hesitant about this movie.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I feel like they're going to make Benicio... The thing about Benicio del Toro's character we'll just call him Sicario. The thing about Sicario that I love so much in Sicario was that he had no moral compass, and he was Baba Yaga, essentially.
Yeah.
And
Taylor Sheridan is who I'm thinking of.
All right. So I feel like the idea that, like, he's doing all these dastardly mean things, and you want to, like, he's a very badass character, and you want to be on his side, but Emily Blunt's character reels you back in to the side of reality. With her not there, I think his character is going to take an arc where it's going to be like the girl that's in the film, this new one, the little girl that he gets ordered to, like, take out or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she's going to change him.
So it's like Logan.
Yeah, I think she's going to soften him up.
Well, I just looked it up. Taylor Sheridan, that's what I just said, right? Yeah, he did write this one.
Okay.
It's written.
Well, then the director must have had some input on it.
Well, the director's a fucking idiot because the movie, like, it makes logical sense unless it's like a cameo that's not revealed until later. Where she,
I doubt it. There's been a lot of marketing about how she's not in the movie. A lot of people are kind of pissed about it. And the movie's, compared to Sicario's Rotten Tomatoes score of 94%, this new one carries a score of, I think, 76. So
it won't be as good. But at least we get to see Josh Brolin's feet, everybody. It's fucking Crocs that he wears.
No, flip-flops.
I think it's Crocs.
It's flip-flops.
All right. All right, we'll see.
I just watched 7 Things You Didn't Know About Sicario from Cinefix.
Well, what if he wears Crocs? If he wears Crocs in this one, and I called it, I'm going to shit my brick.
Just like you called Jurassic World's plot a year ago.
Yeah, I did. By the way, really quick, so if you guys listen to the Jurassic World episode, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I've seen it 2 more times after that.
I've seen it once more.
Love it a whole lot more.
It's still good. Yeah.
I feel like when we were talking, I was like kind of going through the motions. I was still thinking about it. Yeah, and I was still like, did I like, I still really couldn't decide. I knew I liked it, but then seeing it again, I'm just like, wow, this is, it, like, direction-wise, artfully done. The cinematography is amazing.
It's good, yeah.
The story is legit.
There's some holes, but...
like, the fact that they can just look at lava, come on. That's
not just possible. That. My biggest complaint of this movie, biggest complaint of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
How the fuck does a dinosaur only cost $4 million?
I know.
That's my biggest complaint.
You only thought that because you probably read articles.
I thought that while we were watching it.
Did you really?
Because the most expensive dinosaur was, what, $29 million or something like that?
Yeah, the Indoraptor goes for like $30 million.
Yeah, that's so little money. You could buy a really nice boat for more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's my only complaint.
Well, I mean, if we're going off the thing with Jurassic World, maybe people are just disinterested in dinosaurs. By the way, why are people buying dinosaurs? That's the really weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? This is a animal equivalent of a tank. That's what the Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, except for the fact that you can't control this tank.
Well, yeah, and also, like, what are you just gonna get one Ankylosaurus and it's gonna be a tank? What are you fucking talking about?
What happens when they shoot it?
Yeah, it's got armor. That's why it's a tank.
Oh, that's true. Also,
Indoraptor is bulletproof. That was so cool.
It was bulletproof?
Yeah. The third time I saw it, I saw the bullets bounce off. That's why you hear the shells dropping. They're not shells. They're bullets. They're falling out of the body. And
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, ting, ting, ting. Oh, it's great.
Also,
God damn, that movie
another
is
big
good.
problem with the Indoraptor.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea is you can laser target, right?
Yeah.
And then the Indoraptor will. What happens when it kills the target? You gonna get it back in its cage?
I mean, I think it's a prototype.
Right.
So that's like the one thing
but
that they can
sold
do.
It.
But they shouldn't have taken it out of the cage. They didn't expect to take it out of the cage.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as when the guy who buys that Indoraptor.
Oh yeah,
when
he's an idiot.
using it,
they're all idiots.
What are they going to do?
For bidding on something that's a fucking prototype. Here's the new Apple 11. It's just shaped like 11 from Stranger Things. Here's the new Apple 11. It's a prototype. I want it. Well, it's not. It doesn't actually do anything yet. It's kind of like it might explode in your hand. 25 millions. Okay, well, we want the 25 million. We don't care if you die or not.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's the whole thing.
Like,
it's all about consumerism.
Well, the idea is the Indoraptor, like once it's like finalized, when Mr. Wong gets finished with it. BD Wong plays
Henry Wu.
Yeah. Maybe you should make different names.
No.
I say Henry Wu.
Henry Wu.
But no. The final product will be able to respond to voice commands.
Yeah.
But, like, they shouldn't have sold the original one anyway.
That's because those guys are fucking greedy. They're greedy idiots. That's why Wu walks up and he's like, you can't sell this. And he's just
Wu
like,
with a bit of humanity for some reason.
Well, it's because we talked about this walking out of the movie, but we forgot to say it on the podcast. The idea that he is a villain in these new movies is complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a villain in the first book. All he has ever been has been someone who is so into science that he wants to create these things. It's everyone else around him that exploits him, and he's just a pushover. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to make these things, and they're like, do whatever you want. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to make a fucking badass thing. And then they're like, why would you do that? And he's like, well, you told me to do it. And then this happened in this one too. He's like, that's not ready to go.
Well, you told me to do it.
You told me to do it.
Come on.
Why did you do that?
Good Lord.
I'm Asian and I sound weird. I don't know. That was very strange.
Yeah, it got a little weird there.
But yeah, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I really like it, and I hate all these people complaining who also love Jurassic World. I'm listening to these podcasts, which I stopped, by the way, but they're big Jurassic Park fans, love Jurassic World, and then they hated this one, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's like the Last Jedi of the Jurassic Park.
Yes, it really is, and that's why I like it too, is because it had balls. It took it somewhere where you didn't think it would go. And now I'm really excited for the third one. I think it's going to be fantastic. And
Pterodons in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I just love the idea, too, that everyone's freaking out about all these dinosaurs. I'm like, well, we have bears. We have lions. We have all these things in the world.
Yeah, you can kill them.
You know?
Except for the Indoraptor.
Yeah.
Which is already dead.
Which is dead. Thanks to Blue.
Bulletproof, but not spear-proof.
Yeah. Not spear, Spike from the...
Triceratops.
Yeah, so Jurassic
Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
But we are seeing Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Which, by the way, the title of this movie,
sucks.
It should have been called Soldado. That's what they should have called it, because that's what it was at first. And then they called it Sicario 2,
maybe we'll watch
Soldado, and then now it's Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
Maybe we'll watch it, and then like Benicio will be like at some sort of like thing with this little girl who's now softened his heart, and he's just like, she says to him, "Oh, what is this, Baba Yaga?" And he's just like,
Jesus.
"Oh, it is the Day of the Soldado."
Oh.
Roll credits. Boom. All right.
If that happens, it's not the Dark Knight, so it shouldn't happen at the end. But no, if that happens, it's fucking. They clearly went and did reshoots. There's no reason for that line to be. Oh God!
I've had it with this motherfucking day of this motherfucking Soldado. Now let's open a motherfucking Emily Blunt. Oh, that's dirty.
I'll open her. Oh boy. So sorry, John Krasinski. Yeah. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, that's his wife. I forgot.
So what? Any other questions about?
I don't think we had any questions. I think I think we kind of just fleshed out all of our concerns already.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm very hesitant about this movie.
Well, yeah, like because the first one was a smart action, and then this one seems like it's just going to be strict action.
I think we'll enjoy it, but I don't think it'll be as good.
I have a fear it's going to be like a '90s movie, and if you see any '90s movies that like have explosions and action and drug stuff, it's
and Days of Soldados.
Very never good.
Very never good. Good grammar.
The Peacekeeper with George Clooney, Nicole Kidman.
Wasn't it Peacemaker? No, Peacekeeper. Wasn't it a nuke on a bridge or some shit in that movie?
No, that's True Lies. No, I don't know. True Lies. If this movie's like True Lies, I'll be fucking down.
I love True Lies.
True Lies is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
If this movie's like True Lies, I'm happy.
If there's a scene where Josh Brolin yells at Benicio del Toro, "The bridge is out!"
Yeah. And then he shoots a terrorist on a missile into a... Oh, God.
Shoots a terrorist from a missile from an F-18 Hornet through a building into a helicopter while saying, "You're fired."
You're fired. Mr. Trump, you're fired.
Listen to me now. Listen, Mr. Trump. If you ever want to talk about the great state of California again, I will put you on a rocket and I'll fire you into Space Force.
I will fire you right into Blockbuster. God, that video. Did you see that video?
No.
Oh my God! Arnold Schwarzenegger posted a four chunk long video on Instagram, and it's hilariously great. It's perfect. He's condescending Donald Trump, saying like, if you want coal to keep happening, that's like you saying that you want Blockbuster to still be going. And he says Blockbuster easily 70 times throughout. Blockbuster. And it's the funniest. Blockbuster.
I know who you are. You're the attorney whose family they killed.
Not they.
My father.
Póntelos.
And now you hunt them.
Adios.
There's proof the cartel helped the terrorists get to the border.
The president's adding drug cartels to the list of terrorist organizations.
You can understand how that will expand our ability to combat them.
You want to see this thing through? I'm gonna have to get dirty.
Dirty is exactly why you're here.
You're gonna help us start a war.
With who?
Everyone. No rules this time.
Your objective is to start a war between the Mexican cartels, not with the Mexican government.
This girl was witness to the mission, correct?
Yes, sir.
We can't risk her falling into the wrong hands. Clean the scene.
They want me to cut ties. You gotta get rid of her.
I can't do that.
Don't put me in that situation.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna need a strike team, 2 Blackhawks, drones with attack capability. Where's the coup? Mexico.
You have no reason to trust me. But trusting me is how you're gonna survive.
Good luck.
Luck doesn't live on this side of the border.
All right, testing. We're back. I think this is working good.
Yeah, maybe.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
perhaps.
angle it up and look at us. Looky hooty.
All right, we just
Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
before anything, before we get into this, I just want a public service announcement to anybody. If you're an overweight person and you're at a movie theater, you normally make sounds like.
And that wasn't even him coming.
Don't go to a fucking movie. I'm sorry, fat gross people.
Like, it happened the whole time. And then before, there was he would laugh at parts in trailers and in the movie itself, where it's like, that's not laugh out loud funny.
No, he's a piece of shit.
I think I scoffed a couple times, but that's my like, that's funny. But his like, ha 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 ha.
he could beat Jackie Chan.
Oh, shut up.
Anyway, so Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
We have not talked about it at all since we walked out of the theater. So what? Usually, we're trying to figure out, like, do we talk about it a little bit, or do we just not say anything? We haven't said a one word about it.
I think I'm still processing the movie.
I think I am too, and that's why this podcast is so hard, because I think the best thing about seeing a movie is the ability to process it and think about it, and that's where your opinion comes from. Like, I don't even have really an opinion on a movie until like 2 or 3 days later.
I liked it.
I think I liked it.
I liked it. The third act was.
See, that was like a really exciting part, because I didn't know where it was going with Josh Brolin's character, and
No, I enjoyed that.
Spoiler free. We got to spoiler free.
Oh yeah, spoiler free. It was a good movie. It was tense. It was very suspenseful, like the first one. I was glad they didn't go all balls to the wall action.
Yeah, it still had the same vein of the first one. It had the same atmosphere.
Kudos to this director for being able to at least keep the spirit alive in the first one. Although I would say the movie didn't feel like a sequel. It kind of just felt like its own film.
That's why it was called Soldado.
Yeah.
There's so much studio interference in this. It wasn't marketed well.
No.
People saw, like, Sicario was a success.
Well,
people saw it.
It wasn't a huge financial success.
It wasn't, but I think it could have been pushed as like a. See, and it's released in summer. It's not a summer blockbuster.
No, it's like a February movie.
No, February. No, I would say like a little later, like maybe closer to award season. Like I think Sicario was, right?
Well, award season's earlier than February. Award season's like November.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you said a little later. Oh, I'm thinking of.
Yeah, what do you think? What are you doing?
We're both right and wrong, I guess.
We're both thinking. No, I mean later in the year.
See, I was thinking
November. You were thinking Oscars, like the actual Oscars.
No, I was thinking like when you said later. Oh, you said earlier.
No, I said later.
Oh, you said later, and I was thinking earlier. Like I was saying, February is still early in the year.
Yeah, and that's when the Oscars are.
Yeah, but anyway,
I was talking about Oscar contender.
All right. Yes.
But anyway, marketed wrong, and they renamed it 1,000 times, and I think that really affected. Like about 7 times throughout the movie, I was just like, "What's this called again?" Oh yeah, Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado.
I don't really know why they call him Day of the Soldado, but that guy's pregnant.
Was there even a reference to Soldado in the movie?
That dude looks straight up pregnant. It's just.
I noticed.
There was not, no.
So there's no. I don't know what Soldado means. Guys, write in, email us.
Let us know what Soldado means. We're too lazy to Google it right now. No, it was a good movie.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
The only thing that bothered me was, all right, let's do spoiler free real quick. Just, I thought that Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin were fantastic.
They were great. It was so their movie.
Yeah,
I'm really glad this is what it was, and that Emily.
Even the girl that played Isabella was really good.
She was great.
It was a good movie, and I leaned over to Gerrit at one point and said that I'm getting a real Logan vibe from it, but you get a little bit of it, but it's not like it doesn't feel like it's ripping off Logan.
No.
But it definitely
it could easily be like a John Wayne kind of movie too.
Yeah, and they really fleshed out Alexander or Alejandro. Alejandro Benicio del Toro's character. They really fleshed him out. Like you really felt for why he couldn't. His mission is to kill this girl after the mission goes wrong.
Yeah.
And you can really understand why he didn't want to. The whole sea story of him being they got on this farm with this guy who was deaf. And
which that almost made me cry. That was beautifully done.
Especially when he says, "Your daughter is deaf," and he says she was, and he says, "I'm sorry." I'm like, that was a great fucking
really,
scene.
really good.
But yeah, you really find out in the first one they hint at the reason that he's going after Carlos Reyes is because he killed his family, but they don't really go into it.
Oh, and there's a line of exposition, and it's done ADR. Which what does ADR stand for? Audio directional retard. What is it? What is ADR?
Windy.
It's something about how so in a movie, if the studio deems it so, where it's like throw another line in here, they'll have to do it later in post, so they have it on another actor. It's highlighting another actor, but then the other person who's supposed to be saying it doesn't show their mouth. There's a part in there where Josh Brolin's character is trying to get Alejandro back to do the mission, and he says, like, we're getting Ricky Reyes, and then off screen, you hear him say, you'll be able to get revenge for your family, or something like that.
Wait, when did that happen?
That happened early on when he's in his apartment. And I'm just like, fuck, duh! If you saw the first one, you'd know that. And that's the problem with this movie, and I blame the studio completely, is because they're like, oh, well, people didn't see the first one, they need to see this one. It's just like, it's not a standalone movie. It's obviously a connection, but it's what they were trying to do was great in setting up this universe of like 3 different titled movies. I love that idea, but they fucked it with that dumb exposition too.
I don't remember that part.
God, watch it again because it's in there. He literally is like, "Who are you going after? Ricky Reyes,
Carlos Reyes,
or Carlos Reyes?" I keep saying Ricky Reyes. That's a comic. Carlos Reyes, and then it shows Benicio just being like, huh, like kind of like interested, and then Josh Brolin's character says off screen, "You can get revenge for your family." It's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You make it sound like he's in 20s. Yeah, you can get some revenge for your family there.
Get some revenge for your family there. And then it goes back to him, and he's just purple like Thanos.
That's enough with the spoiler-free stuff because I really got to talk about the third act. I really enjoyed the third act, but they kept fucking with me with the pacing was weird.
Yeah.
Like
hold on. Oh, my pussy's wet.
Really? He's gonna cover a bandana on his face too?
Well, he's a Sicario.
Jesus Christ. The third act was like they take them out into the desert. So Benicio del Toro, Alejandro, is trying to get back into the across the American border with the little girl who was the daughter of Carlos Reyes. They get stopped at the border when they're trying to cross. They find out that he's like he's not who he says he is. They take him out into the desert. They shoot him and leave him for dead. And he doesn't die, surprisingly. I thought he was I thought he switched out at some point. In my mind, I'm like, he must have switched to somebody. There was somebody else under that mask.
When he started moving, I was like, he's not dead.
Dude, and then I came to grips with like, okay, he's dead. Like, he's dead. They're going to move on with the story.
I was so angry.
And then he came back and fucking, dude, blood poured out of his face.
He got shot through the cheeks. That's what happened.
So that happens when you let a kid murder somebody.
Yeah, that was a really...
No, I don't have a problem with. The only thing I have a problem with was they keep Josh Brolin's on these 2 Black Hawk helicopters trying to go and find Alejandro, and they keep yelling out how far away they are from where they're
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Then 10 minutes movie time goes by, in which they find out who he is, and they pull him out in the desert, and they have these kids kill him, and then how long are we there? Till we're there. 10 minutes. It's like, no, it was fucking.
I didn't think they did another minute countdown.
They did. They did it twice. And then they said, at one point, they said they were 2 minutes out, and it was nighttime, And then they're flying still, and it's fucking morning all of a sudden.
And they drove easily 2 hours away.
Yeah, I
from
didn't...
the death point of Benicio.
And then you hear the helicopters go over Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
This is, obviously it has been hours after he'd gotten shot.
It's all cross-cutting, and it happens very rapidly.
That was a point where I could feel like somebody stepped in and somebody else edited that part of that film.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And it was just...
Editing's not good in the movie either. There's a couple, continuity errors where it's like, really? You couldn't...
I just, for me, the timing of that third act ruined what could have been a perfect third act. Because it was a very good third act. Yeah. But I think the timing, the fact that, it went from nighttime to daytime, and it seemed like no ground was covered by the helicopters, the guys in the cars, or Benicio rolling around in the dirt. So I'm just like, I don't know what time it is. I don't know how far away they are.
It was all it's almost like they stopped for gas. And
it was fucking confusing. Because, they had it was pitch black. Sun was not coming up.
Yeah, it was, and then, I'd say 11, 12 at night.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, hold on.
It could be 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it could be that. Because it was around the same time that they were smuggling people across the border, right?
Right, well, that could be any time.
Yeah.
But my problem is just it's 3 a.m. we'll say, which is still pitch black. But then by time the helicopters catch up to them, the sun is in the sky. It's not dusk. It's the day time.
It's not morning.
Which means 2 or 3 hours should have gone by. 3 or 4 hours should have gone by.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they were 2 minutes away from them 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Now it's 3 hours later, and they're just now catching up to them.
Yeah.
It just made no sense. You know how confusing my rambling right now is? That's how confusing the third act was for me.
You're right.
It was just, it really bothered me. And it could have been a perfect third act.
It's really weird. I wonder if stuff was deleted or something.
It was weird. If you see the movie, drop it in the comments section. Tell us what you think about the third act and how the timing was handled. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, it's not you. It was me, too. We were both looking at each other
I was very
what?
confused. I'm like, what is going on? And then this big setup now for the third film is the kid who tried to kill Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
He does. In his mind, he does kill him.
Yeah.
He shoots him in the face.
A year later, he's got tats, lip gloss.
Dude, he's choloing out. A year later.
He had lipstick on. Did you notice that? It
was
had
shiny lips.
Shiny lips.
But so a year later, he's
eyeliner, guy liner, if you will.
A year later, he's essentially a Sicario now, a Sicario in training. Yeah. And so Benicio del Toro shows up at his work, which is the mall, where he goes to pick up his jobs and stuff. Shows up at his work in his back break room and just says, "So you want to be a Sicario? Let's talk about your future," and then close the door. 2 things. One, I like the idea of him training somebody else. We're going to get a Jean Reno and the Professional kind of thing. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that it's the kid who tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Does he respect him now? Was it, you got balls, kid, you shot me in the face?
I think it's that kind of thing, but the movie is so disjointed the last 20 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because of that time thing and then the ending. And then it immediately cuts to Sicario, Day of the Soldado. It's like a last-second throw-in title card. It looks stupid.
I didn't have a problem with that. Black Panther did the same. Black Panther had a more interesting title card.
But that had a better title card. Yeah. That makes sense. It's a Marvel movie as well. They don't have titles until the end of the movies anymore. Yeah. But that was dumb.
And also, I want to know it's been a year. We don't know what happened to the girl. We don't know what happened to Josh Brolin.
She's in the witness production
What about Josh Brolin? He disobeyed their commands?
Yeah, he's probably fired.
Or
killed.
Treason?
Yeah, there's no... But, dude, and you turn to me at one point in the movie, you're just like, by the end of this, I think I'll hate America. And I'm like, I already do.
The ineptitude of the American government is on full display in this movie.
It really is. And usually I hate the military in every movie. But the thing I do like about the Sicario trilogy, obviously, is that it makes me respect the military because they have to do certain things to get things done.
Well, the thing is,
they crushed this.
This group is not the military. There's some sort of clandestine,
mercenary,
some sort of offshoot that is off the books.
Yeah.
And could I just mention that anytime Matthew Modine shows up in anything, I'm very much aware that it's Matthew Modine.
Who's Matthew Modine again?
He was the guy who played the Secretary of Defense.
Oh yeah, that
he's
guy
in
sucks.
Stranger Things. He played Papa.
Oh, that's right, that guy.
Yeah, he's just very Matthew Modine. He's kind of slimy and smarmy, and that's his thing, and you don't trust him. I don't trust Matthew Modine as our Secretary of Defense. What?
Yeah, I
don't
either.
I don't. I'd rather have Donald Rumsfeld.
That's funny. Catherine Keener plays the lady that's giving
his handler.
His handler, and she refers to the President of the United States as POTUS, and I was like, that's funny.
Well, that's what he is, POTUS.
Yeah, but it's so funny to use an acronym.
It's
we're all the American audiences are so hip to know what POTUS stands for, but they're not hip enough to understand that he's going to get revenge for his family. It's so you don't need to put that line in.
Well, I think the military does speak in acronyms.
Oh yeah.
Like they really, I think that's pretty realistic. They would say POTUS. Like,
okay.
It's definitely not like a thing. They wouldn't say the president. They wouldn't say Mr. Whoever the president is in this movie. They wouldn't say the president. They'd say POTUS.
They'd say POTUS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got some training under your belt?
I know a lot of military guys.
All right.
But
I wish I did. Get out of a jam.
Hey, military guy. I have a friend who lives in who once told me. Shout out to who probably doesn't listen to this. Who once told me about some. Well, I shouldn't have shouted him out and then say what I'm about to say. Never mind.
We'll say it off
Told me
air.
about some Schmufferman Schmeekrits.
Ooh, you'll tell me off air, please.
I will tell you off air.
I'll cut his name. I'll bleep it. I'll edit it.
Yeah, cool. Bleep his name out. But yeah, he told me about some military Schmeekrits that kind of scared the shit out of me.
I bleeped out the state, too, for you guys.
Yeah.
I know. Burp from burp.
That's good. I like that.
All right.
Smart move. But
so
let's wrap this up. I got a lot of shit to do today.
Yeah, so I think I'll definitely simmer on it. I think something I heard about the first Sicario is that Emily Blunt's character basically plays us, the audience, so we can see all of the things happening.
I told you that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And I like that in this movie it was the girl that they had to kidnap. And I really like that because that she is asking questions where it's like, oh, yeah, she's smarter than Emily Blunt's character. Emily Blunt's character in the first one is so dumb to not know what's going on a lot of the time.
I think she's aware of what's going on around her. I just think that she doesn't want to accept what's going on around her. I think she wants to believe in the idea. She wants to believe the fact that like her government, who she works for, and she's represented her entire career, has the same ideals as her, and seeing that they don't really affects her.
That's dumb, though.
What?
Right? That's a dumb thought.
I don't think it is. I think if you're really, you're not a super patriotic person, neither am I. If you're somebody who like blindly follows the leadership of anybody above you, which is what she is her whole life, and then you all of a sudden, it's like in Captain America: Civil War when he finds out that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s really super shitty and like developing, not Civil War, Winter Soldier. When like he finds out that they're like developing all these weapons and stuff, and like Cap's super against it, and you see Cap's world get shattered because he's very much like the idealist. America's *1. We're only out for the greater good. But then he starts to find out that there's a lot of shady things going on, and then he begins to distrust S.H.I.E.L.D., distrust the government, and that's when he kind of like has obviously he's a little different than Emily Blunt's character, but I mean it's the same idea of like blindly following something for your entire career, and then finding out, well, shit, this has all been a sham.
Yeah, but what would you do if you found out everything's a sham?
See, me personally, I would be under the guise that shady things are happening. I wouldn't just blindly follow orders. I wouldn't be super patriotic. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, America does shitty things. Like, that's not me. Her character is that kind of, she's just, yes sir, yes ma'am, no questions asked, we're doing the right thing.
And then when she realizes, when it sinks in.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, that's when you see her wrestle with the turmoil of coming to grips with the fact that the people you work for aren't who you thought they were.
Yeah.
And then, do I continue to work for them? The end game is still what I want to get done, but the means of getting there is not the way I want to do it.
See, I think what I remember in that movie was that she realizes that, and then it immediately becomes Benicio del Toro's movie.
Yeah, I definitely think it takes a shift. It definitely takes a shift.
It takes a complete turn, and then this movie is his movie as well.
I think it's split pretty evenly between him and Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even though Josh Brolin has less screen time than him, I think Josh Brolin gets to do more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this struck me as one of my favorite things I've seen on film this year so far. And it's the scene when he's all geared up to go, like, catch Benicio del Toro. Because he gets told by the government that they have to clean the scene. So he has to go essentially kill his friend, who he's created into Sicario.
Yeah.
And he's walking out of the hangar, and it's like split between two shots of him walking out of the hangar and then them getting ready to go across the border, Benicio. And then you just see his face, and he's got, every time you see him when he's going on mission, he's very matter of fact. He's always in charge. He knows what he's doing. He's very clear-headed. And you can see on his face the turmoil of, yes, I'm a man on a mission, this is my job, but I'm going to go hunt my friend now.
Yeah.
And he conveys it it's so subtle.
He's a great actor.
So good. Josh Brolin's fucking fantastic.
He is.
He's the MVP of movies this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, next time we watch the movie, watch that scene, and just the look on his face is like a guy who's like just full of pain because he knows, one, he has a job he has to do, and he's going to do it.
Well, the thing too is like when we see him in the first one at the beginning, everything has been so good up to that point. I feel like so he's just very lackadaisical. He's got his Crocs on.
He did have Crocs on.
He had I called it. I threw my hands up in the air right when he had Crocs on. It was beautiful. But yeah, and then I think by this one he's very direct, and he's had like a character arc from the first one to this one, and then by the end of this one, it's like he has become the it's like the complete opposite of the Emily Blunt character from the first one, where he's like, fuck the government, they're wrong, this girl's going in witness protection program, and I liked that character arc more than I liked her. Like, she just is shuffled to the side and threatened at the end of the first one. But I don't know. I think I might like this one more. I think that's what I'm saying.
I don't. I do like this one, but I'm steadfast, and I think the first one's far superior.
Yeah,
and
I think watch it. The one thing that makes it, that's the editing, the timing of the last act of this one. God, I don't know.
All right, Gerrit.
You got to get out of here.
Yeah, so. Let's go ahead and rate this baby. Let's rate this puppy.
What are we doing?
Arbitrary scale, but
what's the scale? Is it going to be gunfires? Well, we only had one of those in the movie. The quick blast.
No, I'm at 6, like because he's
like six shots. Oh, okay. I don't know. I think I'll give it 8. 8? I think so. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it would get an 8, 8.5 if it wasn't for the editing in the third act. Like that really pissed me off.
And it's like it's a thing where I'm trying to like look past it or maybe think.
You know what it reminds me of?
How it would happen. It doesn't make any sense.
It reminds me of that. You ever seen the Furious 6, the 6 Fast?
I never saw it. No.
It's one where they pull down a plane with a bunch of cars. And there's a scene in it where in the trailer. It's like the glory shot. They have these cars on an airplane. They hook all these wires up to it, and they somehow pull a giant tanker plane down. The scene takes about 15 minutes, and someone extrapolated and did the math. And if it takes 15 minutes for them to fight this plane on a runway, the runway would have had to have been 32 miles long.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a case of awful editing.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I thought of in this movie. Like they're flying forever to fly 15 minutes away. And somehow it goes from 3 a.m. to fucking 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the thing. It ruins the third act for me. It doesn't ruin the whole film. I think it's a really good movie.
It definitely ruins the third act.
But ruins the third act. It ruins what could have been. That could have been a perfect third act.
Yeah.
Fucking just, he gets shot. Josh Brolin gets pissed off about watching his friend die. Goes and just, how satisfying was him killing all those people, though?
Perfect.
Josh Brolin goes on a just straight up bloodlust. It just kills all these cartel members. At one point, they're all cowering in the back of a pickup truck, and he tells them all to stand up just so he can shoot them all.
Oh, I loved
it was so satisfying.
Loved
but I mean, cut out all that. That movie, that whole sequence could have been 7 minutes shorter.
Well,
and
the thing is,
perfect.
I wanted him to get Benicio's character to get shot at night, which that good lighting, great everything, and I wanted the Josh Brolin's thing to happen in the day. Like, I think all the lighting was great, but it was just, there was something that could have been, like, maybe he was watching all that stuff happen at the base, and then they flew out. Like, there's just something off about all that timing.
Yeah.
Maybe I could rewrite it in my head. I'd feel good about that.
All right, Gerrit.
We gotta go. I give it.
You gave it an 8. I give it a
7.
Next week it's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We still have to do promos for some of the other podcasts.
We do, but we should do it when we're inside.
Yeah, you're right.
As opposed to out here. We'll do it later this week or something.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe and like and
follow us on Twitter and Facebook and
download
all that good
us.
stuff.
We're not on Twitter. Follow us personally.
We're on. Yes. We are.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. See you
Bye,
next time.
I love you.
All right, I got to